I feel like I haven't renovated an apartment in San Myshuno in like forever. So today we're tackling one of the smaller apartments in San Myshuno. It's this 1-bedroom apartment that's owned by Salim Benali, and I turned it into a studio. And when I first started this, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna renovate it. But then when I was working on it, I was like, actually, let's try to like renovate this on a budget to try to still keep it pretty cheap. And so I try to keep it under $15,000 for the entire cost of the entire apartment. So I'm pretty sure this would still constitute as like a starter apartment, because if you're moving into it, like you just have to pay just the furnishings of it basically, and then of course like there's rent and all that, so it still is like cheaper to live in. And I start by actually adding a platform for the bed just to kind of like separate it. And then I even looked at like Salim Benali, I think that's how you pronounce it. I looked at his basically his sim, and he is actually a blogger, so I even added a computer up there. And I definitely think that, even because when I was going into this, I wasn't thinking I was going to do it on a budget, and then I ended up doing it on a budget anyway. So when I was working on it, I really wasn't like paying attention to the cost till probably like one to like halfway through the video. So the kitchen and everything is probably a lot more expensive than it needs to be, but I still wanted it to be like nice stuff. So it's definitely like there's not a lot of furnishing or like personality in it, just because I was trying to keep it on the cheaper end. But I definitely think it still fits like a bachelor, basically, like someone who lives alone, doesn't like host all the time. So I don't know, it's a nice apartment. Like if I lived here, I would not be complaining. I'd probably put more stuff on the walls, but I would not be complaining. And this is also a bit of like a shorter video for me, probably. I did like slow it down a lot. Like usually I speed up these speed builds a lot faster, but this would have been literally like a 6-minute video if I did that. But I'm trying to like pre-record because I'm leaving for Michigan tomorrow, the day I'm recording this, and I won't be able to really record videos when I'm home. Not home, but this is my home, but when I'm with family. So I'm trying to like pre-record some stuff before I go, so I will have videos to post while I'm gone. Right now we are about to start on the kitchen. Also, you guys are gonna be so proud of me. I did not use any custom content in this build. This is all the core games, which is very rare if you're a reoccurring viewer of this channel. I am a big custom content user, but in this video I did not use any custom content. And I actually have another build that's coming that's much larger that I don't use custom content either. So I'm excited for that video, and I think that will be a fun one. It is holiday themed, if I can get it done in time. I'm hoping I can. I'm gonna work on that literally right after this video. I need to finish building it because I still have like half of it to do. I was gonna maybe make this a like limited pack build, but then ended up not really committing to that. I used a lot of for rent, like for these cabinets. These are the for rent cabinets. And I used some city living, and I think I just basically used whatever pack I have. Luckily, I do not have all the packs, so this definitely would be more of an accessible build than someone who has all the packs. And yeah, this was like a fun time. I feel like I haven't renovated apartments or like done anything with San Myshuno apartments in like a long time. I definitely want to maybe make it more consistent, me doing it, because one, they don't take as long as trying to build an entire build from scratch. And you do have to be like a little bit smarter with it, with like just like the floor plan. And I actually ended up keeping all the windows in all the same places. But I do know now, since there was an update a while ago, like when For Rent came out, you don't have to like worry. You can now like change the placement of the windows. So that's pretty nice. And I definitely like was like, oh, what's the style I'm going for? And it definitely like, it is like, he definitely lives in a nice apartment. Like there's a nice couch. I definitely try to keep it a little bit more colorful. There's a little bit of plants. I started using this like paranormal couch, and then just like did not fit the vibes that I was going for. So I end up removing it and adding a different couch. I actually ended up adding a sectional, which I don't do all that often. I need to use those more, or like I need to find like some good custom content sectionals, because sectionals are so common in apartments or just like everywhere. Like I own a sectional. Like there needs to be more sectionals in The Sims 4, and I know that like usually like it came out with Tiny Living, and I think they're just trying to keep them to Tiny Living, but they really need to add more sectionals in the game. Like there needs to be more styles besides just the 2 that they have. I definitely think they should add a lot more sectionals, because I just think they're common, and I definitely think they're probably going to start running out of, I mean, I guess you can never really run out of like couch designs, but like add some sectional Sims 4. I know you're trying to commit to that like Tiny Living is the only thing that has sectionals, and like some of those like fancy closet things, but I think you should just add more. I think it's been long enough that you guys can add more of the like the objects that kind of work a little bit like cabinets where like there's other options. I think you should do more of that. And I know that's a lot of designing, but I think you should do more of those. And like I mentioned before, like the only decorations I basically add are like plants. I just try to fill in some of the space with these plants because I thought, like, I don't know, it's good to have plants in an apartment. I have plants in the apartment. Those ones are fake, but there are some actual real plants. They're not surviving super great. I'm a little scared about what they're gonna look like when I leave, because my partner will be home and I'll tell him to water them, but I struggle with keeping them alive, and that man I don't think can take care of any plants. Love him so much, but will he be able to take care of plants? We will see. I can barely take care of these plants. Like they look like they're dying, but they are somehow still alive. I've had them for a good 2-3 years at this point. This bathroom is pretty basic. At this point I was kind of getting a little bit closer to the max I was trying to reach, so I was trying to be a little bit more careful with what I was placing. So I was like, I need to add the things that this apartment needs, that like needs to be in the apartment. So I need to add the bathroom, I need to add the bedroom, and then I actually do end up adding like more money. Like right now it looks like I only have about like $1,800 left, but I do end up adding a good like probably another like $3,000-$4,000, because I was like thinking the whole time, I'm like, I'm gonna do 15,000 as my max, and I literally got up, I think I got up to like $1,499, like $14,999, and I think that's like what I got. I was like, should I find something that's just one simoleon to like just like get it at the 15,000 mark? But I was like, nah, I'll leave it at that. So if you buy it or like purchase the apartment, it probably is not exactly 15,000. It's probably a little bit more than that, just because of like the renting or like whatever it is. I don't know. I like, you have to pay the furnishings, but you also have to pay something on top of that, right? When you move into the apartments, I kind of forget. But yeah, I think it's nice. I'm happy with it. Again, it's like pretty sparse, I would say, but I think overall it's a pretty good apartment. My favorite part of this apartment is probably having that like little platformed area. I think that just like really works with like studio style apartments to kind of help separate areas, and it helps that there's like already, like you would call this, you'd probably like, if this was like a New York apartment, which there would be no New York apartment as cool as this probably, at least studio wise, but it'd probably be called like an alcove apartment, alcove studio, because the bed is kind of in its own little space, and there's also a desk up there too that I placed because he's a writer and he needs a laptop. So that laptop definitely took up a small portion of the budget, but just because I was building this specifically for the sim that already lived here, I was like, okay, there has to be a laptop. I also did not know this sim lived here, because isn't this the sim, and correct me if I'm wrong, I may be completely wrong, like go ahead and roast me in the comments if I'm completely wrong, but isn't this the sim that has a relationship with Penny Pizzazz? Or is this just like another one of those like hot sims that everyone hits on if they live in San Myshuno and run into him? Yeah, let me know. I don't know. I think this is the one that may have a slight relationship with Penny Pizzazz. But yeah, I don't know. It's a cool apartment. I think it's colorful, and I think that's really fun. Just because, I don't know, apartments can get a little sad sometimes, and there's only so many windows. I added this big bookshelf from City Living. I did use some stuff from that, what's it called? The like El Salvadorado pack, Jungle Adventure. Like the floors are from Jungle Adventure. I wanted to kind of look like it had this little bit of like a factory feel. Like it used to be like an old factory that got like changed into an apartment. So it has like those original hardwood floors that still have like the nails and everything that's like visible in them. And I think that's kind of fun. And I'm definitely going to try to remember to actually put this on the gallery. I feel like I never put my builds in the gallery, and a lot of the times it's because of the custom content, but this one, there's no custom content, so I'm like, I have no excuse to not put it on the gallery. If you guys don't know, my gallery ID is Aidan Herb. It's just Aidan, Aidan, and then ERB. So I wish I could change it to Aidan Sims, but I'm not sure if you can change your gallery ID. Is that possible? So we're actually getting to the end of this video. So we're gonna jump in first person mode, and I will show you around this very tiny apartment. Here we are at 910 Medina Studios. Entering in, we have this wonderful bookcase right at the entryway. Here's Salim cooking in his nice little, pretty large kitchen, honestly, for a studio apartment. Like, he even has an island. Can't really see outside because it's snowing, but we have a pretty good sized living room. We got this sectional couch. Sims, please add more sectional couches with its own small little TV. And then up on this platform, there's actually like kind of a separate space for the bed and his working station where he writes his blogs. I love this desk. And then back to the main hallway going in here, you just come into this pretty basic sized bathroom. So yeah, that's this little renovation. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.